boxing has been has transcended and reached into all corners of our society. Anything from social movements and civil rights to pop culture icons and media to ethics and values that we hold, such as sportsmanship and athletic integrity, have all been shaped by events that have happened inside the squared circle. We can see this with our first example of the fight of the century in the 1960s. Two fighters known by Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier were coming to clash in that fight. Ali was a brash, proud, outspoken fighter who would often use those tactics outside of the ring to wear down his opponents mentally before the day of the fight. In stark contrast to his opponent, Joe, who was a silent, hard-working man who rather let his fist do his talking. This only added to Ali's detractors on the basis of his opponent, because Ali had become an outspoken individual in regards to the 1960s Black rebellion, Black Power movements, and his added with that on his open criticism of white racism at the time. America had considered Frazier its golden boy, though, and so this would add sting to Ali's detractors. This fight clearly transcended the bounds of just a sport, because this fight made its way to all corners of social circles in society at that time and day. And we can see that though this fight and its score had only meaning to the sport itself and the fighters' records, that it also had meaning to us as a culture. And this was not just two men going in the ring and fighting it out. This was a clash of ideas. And we can see that boxing has this consistent theme of having fights and fighters reach beyond the ring 20 years later down the line. There was a young man coming up through the heavyweight ranks who had explosive power, bombastic fights, and bone-crushing blows. We've called him many things. We've called him Kid Dynamite. We've called him the baddest man on the planet. You may simply know him by his given government name of Michael Gerard Tyson, but we all simply know him as Mike Tyson. Tyson had a profound success in the ring, and this success would lead to Tyson transcending boxing, not just as a fighter, but as a pop culture and media icon. This is evidenced by his many appearances in video games, such as Mike Tyson's Punch-Out!, movies like The Hangover, or another one like Ip Man 3. Mike Tyson has become a household name and an icon based solely off of his success and the fights that he had in the ring. To quote William F. McNeil, the author of Rise of Mike Tyson Heavyweight, detailing one of Tyson's fights, he described them as massacres. And he details in his fight with fellow heavyweight contender at the time in the 80s, Donnie Long. He described this fight in a very short detail of uppercuts bounced off of Long's head. Long was against the ropes. A left roundhouse sent him hurtling to the canvas and put Long on one knee. And we can see that just off of this one athlete's accomplishments that he has become much bigger than the sport that he originated in. But boxing has also had outreach in a lot of the ethics and values that we hold as a culture and society. Most notably in the year of 2008 in the clash of Miguel Cotto versus Antonio Margarito. Cotto, regarded as a Puerto Rican phenomenon, was fighting rising superstar in Antonio Margarito. A fight that had built up with hype was only met with disappointments from the fans, because Margarito not only brutally destroyed Cotto, which that within of itself was not the issue. Margarito was accused by Cotto and his team of lacing his hand wraps with plaster to effectively increase the power of his punches. And so we as a nation heard about this in headlines, and that allowed us to reapply a lot of the socialization and ethics that we have onto that fight. Because boxing has not just been a one-way message tunnel between it and society. It does go both ways. And so we as a society have applied our morals and views to hold our athletes, and most notably our fighters, to a much higher level of integrity, to higher levels of sportsmanship. And this was a display of that happening then and there. Cotto and Margarito would go on to rematch, where Cotto would display a dominating performance over Margarito. They're further by cementing and adding sting to Margarito's critics that he did indeed lace his hand wraps with plaster. Now, Margarito has never openly confirmed this. More effectively, he's openly denied this, but nor has he given any evidence to prove his exoneration. But we can see that as a society, our enforced values and our enforced ideas socially, not only does the performance of the athletes echo that to us, but we reapply that to those in the ring. Boxing's outreach in society has been tremendous. From movements, icons, ethics, moral, dogma, values, we can see that this is more than just a sport, and for the future generations, this is going to be not only stories, life lessons, tales about epic men and gladiator-like battles, but this is going to be life for some of them.